Is that better? We get in. See what that does. Have we got anything happening there? I have a sound check from someone. Before I poke my eye out with a spoon. I do have some light, which is better than last night. I'm not sure there's much else happening. Who's around? There's two people watching. Obviously sitting at the sofa and can't be bothered getting up to comment something on the TV. It's fair enough. Go back to blue screen for a minute. We might just... Here we go. Who's around? We've got two people. No one's particularly chatty. I might just start in then, if anyone can hear me. Raise your hand or tap a letter or nod briskly if you can hear me. Been messing with this week. There's always jobs to do. Now these are steam engine parts, or not really steam engine parts, but they will be steam engine parts. This is what it does. Right. I'm going to take this out. I might take that one out. But we've got two steam engine guides here that need to be remanufactured because they're worn out. This is a rod guide for a slide valve on a Fowler steamroller. It's in two pieces, this way and this way, so that you can take them out without removing the rod and the valve and half the running gear to replace a worn piece. So they can be replaced very quickly when the engine's running, and there's a bolt in each one. So you just slide down the rod and you do the bolt up. However, these are quite worn. They are quite worn. And we're going to remanufacture them. So to do that, they need a bit of packing on them, really. See how worn they actually are. You can see that. There's a bit of wear in it, that little lip there. Probably on the full diameter, probably 1.5 millimeters up and down. Not so much side to side. So fairly easily fixed. We could reprint this so that it actually fits exactly, compensating for wear. But I don't know how round this is either. Just looking at it. But basically this is a packer. It's got a bit of taper on here now on this side, which gives us some draft. So you can get it out, and it probably needs one on the other side as well, I think. They're probably just going to be glued or clipped in place. Bit of filler over it, maybe. A bit of tape around it. I've still got to have this hole here plugged, and that hole goes through to here, and that locates this way up and down. And there's 2 pins, one here and one here. If we look at this drawing, we've got 2 pins in the bottom surface to locate a second half of the core, because it's got a round core. And if we put that core box back in place, we'll make a core that diameter. When we mould this in the sand, we can drop that core in, and that'll give a nice hollow casting that should be really, really nice. So that's the plan there, and that's where we go on with that. That's what I've been messing around with. It will get touched up and a bit of filler and stuff in it, some glue, and that shouldn't be bad, and you should be able to fairly easily break all that out if you want the bits back. So that's one thing I've been working on. And poke my eye out with a spoon again. It's not even a very good spoon. A cup of tea with the bag still in it, because if I put that out on the table, it'll make a mess. Could probably put in the teaspoon now, put the teaspoon on the table, but I'm not convinced that that's going to fix it. So that's sort of what's happening. Oh, I've got, what else we're working on? I've got a picture. How can I show you the pictures? Probably quite easily. Let's have a look here. I just share them online and then drag them off on my computer. Well, not online, but give us a minute. These come through on SMS about 20 minutes ago. So let's got them to my computer. See what we can do. It's not what I was looking for at all. See how organised this stream is? There's a lot to be learned from this. Yeah, here we go. Got some pictures from my friend Phil. We're back to one person here. Let's have a look. So we've got a picture here of this particular piece with the numbers on it. Now I have been messing around with that too. Have a look. Chat open. There's just no one open chatting. Everyone's a bit quiet. So we've got this thing here that I've been messing with. Alright. This is as far as we got with it. It's got basically support for the chimney when it's laid down for transport on the smokestack or whatever you want to call it. When it's laid down for transport on my mate Phil's little portable engine, a 2.5 horsepower Clayton Shuttleworth. It looks something like that, realistically. If we look at the picture of the casting, it's got S486A written on it. Is that an S or a 5? Let's click this maximize button. That's all that does. Okay, it's probably be a 5, 4, 8, 6, A, and that's those letters I've got there are probably quite good. If we select them, bit of actual CAD here on the linear pattern. No, on this one here, transform. And if we drop down line here, we've got rotate. It's going to ask us for an axis. Not that one. I think we spun it around on that axis. Might work. Hey, Mark. Sorry, this was a bit sort of impromptu. We're a bit early and all that stuff. Swung about 90 degrees. It's the wrong way up. If we go the opposite direction, that's the right way up. Now we need to put that across on there. I meant to have a look and and just do a bit of a tutorial for myself on this, but I think I've got it. What it's done is put it around there. So we need to, let's see if this works, 90 degrees. It doesn't. There we go. And let's put that on there fairly nicely. Probably a fraction big. Going to have a look at this picture again, which is a bit muddy. This mouse. I don't think it's quite that big. Just looking at that, I think it wants to be a little bit smaller than that. But as far as position goes and all that sort of stuff, it's probably pretty good. Now, what we need to do is edit this sketch. That should change everything. Let's see what that does. It's getting very close. Maybe it sticks out just a little bit too much. That's using the wrap function. That's quite good. Does it stick out too far there? Probably does. Let's edit that. .075, 75 thou stick out. Let's see how that looks. Might cast a little bit better. Anyway, that looks pretty good. Bit of a clean up and some filler. That'll look pretty good. I'm going to turn these actual existing parts off. Anyway, that's a good start. A good coat of high build, like surface filler on that, like spray filler on that, and it'll all round up nice and it'll cast really nicely. So you can't see that because I've actually haven't gone back to the screen, which is a bit poor. Let's click this again. Anyway, that's what we ended up with. We made it a bit smaller. We just changed the sketch diameter dimension, and that brought it back down to where it needed to be, and not quite as thick. But that's another job we've done tonight. Now Mark's here, we might have another look back at what we were looking at before when we started. Looks like it's only Mark here. If Mark's still here. Maybe Mark's disappeared. Sorry, TMB, I'm sorry about that. I did get your message too. It's been a crazy full-on week. While I'm thinking of it and while I'm sitting here, I will text you the original for that drawing. I'll have a look at that. Thank you. My life's been a bit crazy this week. But anyway, thanks so much for your patience with that. It's a bit crazy. Mark's disappeared. It's going to show him this. We've already had a look at this, but this is the, oh, he's present, Mark's present. Anyway, this is the filler piece that I printed for the rod guide. Awesome, that's great, TMB, that's really good. That's what we're about. This is the filler piece that we printed in the rod guide. Right, it still needs a piece for the core block on the back half there. If we make that in 2 halves, then we can mould that down in the sand and tamp around the top, then turn it over and put the other half on and put the cope on. I'll put the drag on and lift the 2 parts apart and take this apart and put a core in it, and we've got a really nice casting. You can imagine it with a core that diameter. So in there, we've got the back piece on, we've got the core in. Working on that as we speak. Now, Phil sent a lot of mud maps, and we might have a bit of a play with them because Phil needs some laser cutting or profile cutting done. And I need, for his portable, I need some things done as well, I think. I need to spend some time on those. There's always 1,000 jobs. Now, this isn't anywhere near finished. It needs a little bit of work. Clean up stuff like that just to make it sweet. There's no fillet in there. And it won't fill it there because of reasons. We will make it work, but I'll spend some time to sit down with that the minute I've got a chance, really. He sent some other pictures too, so we'll have a look at them. Excuse the blue screen. It's not what we want. Phil's rough sketches are much nicer than mine. But let's have a look. Have a look at this one. Looks like a towing eye, maybe. 30 mil thick and 85 mil diameter with a 30 mil hole in it, and a 23 millimeter hole in it. Is that right? It's got two different measurements on it. Interestingly, it doesn't have the radius, and it says 25 mil diameter. I'm going to say that he's put this here by mistake, and the radius is actually 30 millimeters, and he hasn't filled that in. So we need one of these. That's a fairly straightforward thing to do. Let's do that. So we'll go back to stupid mouse. Go back to here, and down here on the plus, insert new tab. We'll click that and then create Part Studio. This is Studio 1. We'll rename that so we can find it again next time when we're talking to him. And we'll call that eyebolt for a start. We look at the top. Sketch on here. It should be a fairly straightforward part to make. Click sketch. We can click on top, or we can tip on top here. Click on top there. Does the same thing. That says top plane. Now, first one we know about is this here, and it's in imperial, of course, whereas his is metric. We can just put 25. It does the same thing, 0.984 of an inch. While we're there, we can go up here to this one, and where it says update workspace units, we click that box, we can change this inches to millimeters. And click the green box, and it regenerates that. So if we go back to this sketch, edit it, see, 25 millimeter. So that works. That's as easy as that. You can change backwards and forwards as many times as you like. If you're sending this to a third party commercial laser cutter, though, you want to change it to millimeters. Otherwise, they'll try and cut it 0.9 of a millimeter. So the other outside diameter was 85 mil. So 85. It's still not anything like his actual drawing. Let's have a bit more of a look at his drawing. Definitely says 85 and 25 mil. That means that this is 30 millimeters there and it's 70 millimeters long from there to there. It's not a helpful sort of a measurement, but let's go with that. We'll go back to here. Now, this measurement here should be 30 millimeters. There's a couple of ways we can check that. We could put a dimension on it. Down here behind my photo, it's also behind my head. It's not helpful at all. I'm going to have to put the camera down to see that. There's a little measuring tape and it says show measuring details. If we select entities to measure, from there, see how organised I am? You should take note of this because I'm not. I'll open that again there. Select entities to measure. Minimum distance is 30 millimeters, so that's 30 millimeters between there and there. That's great. Now, click that and we press Q, or this box as well, which is the construction lines. And from there, we'll make a line down. No matter how long, but if we type in 70 mil like it says, and we can click on this top here. Actually zooms it all in. I guess the quickest way to do this is probably like this. We start here on this dot and we'll click straight on there. Come across. Says we're still connected. There we go, we're back. This measurement here is supposed to be 15. How did we get 49? 15 millimeters. Press enter. There we go. And another one up to here. From here. And a little horizontal, vertical line appears there, which is it's a restraint, I guess you'd call it. We call it a restraint. But what it's telling you is parallel to the dotted line, or parallel to a particular line that's sort of, usually it's halfway between the line and the line you're putting in. So it's restrained as parallel. If you trim that, and trim that, we use the mirror function. We select this line as a mirror, then this one and this one. There we go. We use the scissors. And that gives us our basic outline. Only one job left to do, or two jobs really, but we'll do this first. Use this one, which is a sketch fillet. Select both of them, click on the sides. And that gives us a 30 mil fillet. So there we go. if we click the extrude button, extrude at 30 mil. Basic bits, but there we go. That's one done. Let's have a look at the next bit. Still getting used to this mouse on the screen the opposite way around. I can move the laptop across here, right, and have the screen up there and connect it back the other way, the same as it always did. But we're sort of living with this. It doesn't work particularly well because the screen's in the way. My laptop screen's in the way. Going to need a little bit of attention, this office setup. No, new part. While that's loading, let's have a look at the next sketch. There we go. Blue screen again. Don't know what happened there. Big day at work. This bit looks a bit more interesting. Here we go. So, smokestack stay. Says it's at a 40mm plate. Oh gosh. That's a fairly serious bit of stuff. That must be what he's going to bend up. It's a 40mm plate. That's kind of crazy. 280 and 40mm plate. That's a serious bit of stuff. Anyway, let's have a look at that. So we've got a new sketch on a new part studio. So it's sketch on the front plane. Click on that, it's the easiest. Now this looks like a mirror image piece. So if we draw this here, right, whatever it ends up, and we click line and we press Q for construction line, we start here and we go down here like this with the construction line. Right, then there's this trick. We can make this diameter measurement, so we don't have to halve all the dimensions. If we click this and click this and this, nope. We click this and this. Oh, that's a bit poor, isn't it? I haven't used this program for too long. There we go. So that gives us a 280. Well, it says diameter, but we know what it means. Let's see if we can do that again. This one down here is 15 millimeters. Except it's not. Missed out the one. There we go. Now down here there's a line. It doesn't specify how long the line is. But we do know that that line is between there and there. It's 25 mil. Right. Let's have another look at this picture. We can see that there's a piece that hangs down 40 millimeters from that line and is 40 millimeters wide. It's got an 8 millimeter radius in the corner there. What it doesn't say is how long that line there is. It just say doesn't say, does it? Information missing. Let's put the rest on anyway. We'll come back to this. We'll put the same measurement on there. We should be able to make this measurement from here to here. That's what I said, 40, didn't it? Is that right? And this one across here was 42. Right. There's a sketch up here. This will all come together. Does that look anything like half that piece? And can have another look back at the other sketch. Definitely says 40 millimeters by 40 millimeters. And it says there's an 8 millimeter cutout radius in the corner. It's got to be 4 millimeters down from there. That should be doable. Righto, let's go back. Probably the easiest way we can do that is here. If we make this 36, is that right? No, it doesn't work like that. What we need is another construction line, I think. Make that parallel. It's perpendicular to the orange line. You see the little constraint there? Let's press escape and we'll put a measurement in here between this one and this one. This is 4.5, but because 8 mil radius, it needs to be 4 millimeters. There we go. And we can put a center point arc on that point up to that point. And that says a 4mm radius. Let's have another look at the drawing. It definitely says 8mm radius, so that's not quite right, is it? All we got to do is change that, I think. We change that to 8. There we go. That gives us that. Now I'm going to guess, right here, I'm going to guess this line here. And guess it at 40, which is double at 80mm long, which is about double that distance there. And all we've got to do then is put a line in here like this to that point. Wrong. Control Z to get rid of that. Click line again. And of course that point's got to go to there. So that's half. If we trim this here, wrong one. Dyslexia for you. We trim it with this one here. We could click the M key. That's right. The M key. Yep. Toggle that on and off. Trim that one. Trim that one. Trim that one. And all we need to do then is use the mirror tool on this diagram. Are we back? Don't know. Don't know why that's dropping out there. Sorry, guys. Anyway, on this sketch, where were we? Hammer handles needs a new master. John, we're on to it. So anyway, we're going to mirror this line here. And this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one. There we go. So that looks like the part. Something like that. Now, how thick did he say? I think it was pretty thick. What's the drawing say here? The sketch. It does say 40mm thick. That's pretty serious. It's a big lump of plate. Anyway, that's not going to be cheap. Anyway. If we click up here on extrude, we want to extrude sketch 1. And we want it 40mm. That seems pretty substantial, because if it's what I think it is, he's going to be going to roll that round. Anyway, so that's that bit. There's more, but I probably won't keep going. Everyone's a bit quiet tonight. But anyway, there's a few more bits like that. None of them are any more complicated than that. I'll draw them up pretty quick. Get them back on my phone and text them to him, or I can log straight into onshape on my phone and download the screenshots. It's probably as easy as anything. And then see what he says. But I believe that he's going to roll this around the same diameter as a chimney and stretch it out and make a chimney support that goes on top of that little bracket we were looking at with the number on it. So he's a blacksmith. That's his qualification. I don't think he'll have any problems with it. I personally wouldn't even attempt it, but I think he's got it probably. Oh, anyway, it's probably my bedtime, guys. I've made a start on this. I've got my computer set up sort of looking half reasonable. I've got the big screen and I've got the laptop working. I've got a place to make a cuppa. I've got a 3D printer running. Got these bits made for the inside of this. And Sunday, I reckon, will be Foundry Day with any luck and a good downwind. And then I'm back down here for Monday again at work. I've still got one load. Excuse me. I've still got one load to bring back down. There's not much there. There's my tool chest, 2 tool chests, 3 tool chests. One's just a box of files and so forth. One's basically files and abrasives and stuff like that. One tool chest is hand tools and micrometers and things. Probably it's a bit of a waste of space. They all need going through and cleaning up. I'm not sure. While it's been in the cupboard where it was, it's probably not a tool chest I've had open too many times. Another one's screwdrivers and tap wrenches and stuff like that. And probably that needs to downsize as well. Could probably get rid of one of them. Or I could get rid of a cabinet or two because I've got enough space to put all that stuff in the actual tool chests. I've got my main workbench in the corner needs pulling apart. I've got my stock selection that needs, that's going to be a bit of a job. I'm going to need a box or something to put that in, some plastic boxes maybe, so that I can unload all that, move that out. And there's some signs and a sheet of plywood, a bit of stuff like that. A lot of assorted stuff that's been packed away for years that needs to come out. But honestly, it's another van load, so that's that. I'll be back this weekend. John, with or without your little hammer handle, you haven't got the big one fitted, so I don't know how you expect me to supply you another one as well. We are making hammer handles. The blanks are sitting there in a big stack. I've got about 250 3/4 axe handles to do first. So I don't know whether we're going to get to small engineering hammer handles this week or not. Anyway, we'll see. Right, I'm going to catch you all. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. There's 5 of you now. I don't know if this was particularly exciting. It's just jobs that I'm working on. CAD jobs that I am working on. The donation box projects here and now. So I've sort of been looking at that. It's just a matter of making some bits and scaling and so forth and so on, printing out some drawings and things. Don't have a printer here yet, but we're working on that. Anyway, that's where we're at. Thanks, guys. I'm going to go and unload some shelving out of the van now and go to bed. So I can't do it in the opposite order because it's actually sitting on top of my mattress. So going to do that, and we'll catch you tomorrow night for a proper live stream, and not just onshape. But really appreciate you tuning in, and these will get better as time goes on. We'll do some of these jobs.